Hello and welcome to Melomaniax, the podcast where we take unbiased deep dives into the biggest musicians and artists of all time. I'm one of your hosts, Ashton.
And I'm the other host, Dallas. Thanks so much for being here with us today. Before we dive into part 4 of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums list, we're going to be doing number 200 through number 101, I believe. Right, Ashton? Is that right? Or 100?
That is exactly correct.
Yeah. We'd love you guys to go check out our socials. We're on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this podcast. And please check out our new Patreon. We have a lot of cool perks up there for you for just $5 a month, including access to our private Discord server. So check out all that stuff and get on it. Now it's time for us to get on it.
All right. I guess I'll start us off at number 200.
Let's do it.
Right where we left off. So, 200, we have Sade, Diamond Life, which came out in 1984. I am not familiar. Oh, Smooth Operator? Okay. All right. That makes sense. Your Love is King.
Yeah.
I actually just listened to that song. Like, it just unironically came up. It was the background of a video I watched. I was like, this is a pretty good song.
That's cool. 199, where we have Pavement. The album is Slanted and Enchanted. I like that. 1993. And the album art looks like the ramblings of a serial killer.
Yeah, it does. If I got that in the mail, I would ask for protection.
I'd be like, we have to move right now.
Exactly. 198. The B-52s. 1979.
Cool.
Yep.
Self-titled.
Is that
I didn't realize they were from Georgia.
Look at her hair. My goodness. From Georgia?
Is that like a hat? Like what is going on here?
It looks like a wig. Oh, on the right? Questionable.
I believe this is the one with Rock Lobster. So.
Oh, I see. There's like it's almost like MS Paint before MS, Microsoft Paint.
And they also did Love Shack, right? That's them.
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't think that was on this album, but I do believe that is this band. 197, The Beatles. Meet the Beatles. 1964. I guess this is the first album, the debut album, right?
I believe so. So I Want to Hold Your Hand. I saw her standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like the song I Want to Hold Your Hand. And then when you realize they say that like 40 times in the song, I only needed to hear it once or twice before I was like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny because you'll see those memes like music today, and it's like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, something where they just repeat the same thing the whole song. And then it's like music then, and they pick some cherry pick some song where it's super, deep and stuff. It's like you could easily just do this though. Like this was the Nicki Minaj of the day.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
There's not a lot of depth to I Want to Hold Your Hand, just being as honest as I can be.
Yeah.
That pretty much just nails it right on the head. Like I thought it, I said it, I feel it.
Yeah.
It's just 60s version of, WAP.
Yeah. It's all you had to do back then.
Yeah, that's funny. I love it.
196, Robin, Body Talk, 2010.
Okay.
A Swedish teen pop star.
Yeah, I know some Robin. Not by name, but I've definitely heard some.
That's who they based.
To 195.
Hold on, that's who they based Robin from.
Ahead.
Is that who they based Robin or Robin Sparkles from? Or who
I
was
doubt
that
it,
based
this
on?
came out. I don't know.
But it says Robin had a few hits in the 90s. That's what makes me think. And Robin Sparkles is based off of an actual artist that used to play in malls and stuff. And I'm trying to remember, Nicole was telling me the story. It's based on a real person, and I feel like this is who it was based on. From How I Met Your Mother.
It's based on Alanis Morissette.
Okay. So it's not. The Robin got me thinking, and then the hits from the 90s made me think like, is this? Okay.
And one of Alanis Morissette's big hits had Flea on bass and Dave Navarro on guitar.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's the one that's you ought to know. That's that song.
Oh, that song? Okay.
apparently the producer of that song, I saw an interview with him, and he said Flea came in, and I don't know what was going on with Flea because I assume he's not a terrible bass player. He seems like he's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But the producer said his rhythm and timing was so atrociously bad that he had to spend like hours editing the tracks after he left.
Damn.
If I was producing and Flea came in, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. And then Flea comes in and starts playing. I'd be like, oh, what the hell?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Like,
Off day, I guess.
there's no way he's that bad. Like, he must have been like, I don't know, on heroin or something. Like, the song was oldish, 90s, early 2000s.
Maybe he has just no rhythm without Chad Smith behind him.
Yeah. Yeah, for the rhythm section, Chad has 100%, and Flea's just like, you take Chad away, he's just like deer in headlights, like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Why do you think I don't play with anybody else ever?
He just plays his bass around what Chad's doing, so then, like, without Chad Smith, he's just like, I don't know.
I don't know. Is Chad, could we get Chad in
I
here?
usually
I
just get naked to distract people from the playing.
You see this gap in my teeth? You haven't noticed a note I've ever played.
Yeah.
You've been looking at my teeth.
Exactly.
That brings us to the opposite of Flea, 195, Leonard Cohen. And this is Songs of Leonard Cohen. And that's 1967. Is this the one with Hallelujah, you think?
Most likely.
Okay, so it's got Suzanne, Sisters of Mercy, So Long Marianne. Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye. I'm realizing now I don't know any Leonard Cohen. except for the big one.
I feel like some of these song titles sound familiar, but I don't think I've heard originals.
So I know a band called Sisters of Mercy only because they were on Grand Theft Auto. That's how I got introduced to them.
Nice. Don't you love finding out a band from a video game? That's always cool.
So many bands I've discovered from video games.
Right. All right. 194. Michael Jackson's Bad. 1987. Okay. Hitting the top 200.
Okay, this is another win for the year 1987. That might have been the greatest year in music.
87. Okay.
Yep. Appetite for Destruction. Whitesnake's album with all their hits.
Getting Bad in that year is
many others. Many others. But I did not know this one.
Yeah, that's a heavy hitter for 87, dude. I won't lie.
So what's on Bad? I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Bad, of course. The Way You Make Me Feel. Man in the Mirror. Those Smooth Criminal, I guess. Dirty Diana. Wow.
It was a good one.
Man, guy had a ton of hits, huh? Every album has like 9 hits. You're like, how the hell?
Yeah, I like Thriller more than Bad, but this album does have a lot of.
And this is the follow-up to Thriller.
Yep. Man, always killing it.
Here's something I didn't realize: the title song came with a 17-minute video, which is fine, but by Martin Scorsese.
Really? I didn't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that he.
It only cost $2 million. So
I've seen the video. I didn't know that he produced that.
That's 193. Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR. Willie and the Poor Boys, 1969.
Okay,
so we got Fortunate Son, Down on the Corner. Came
out of
those are the big ones, I suppose.
Effigy. Yeah, I have to actually. I did buy a book, a biography on CCR, and I do plan to start researching them soon. Just a little hint to everybody.
Kind of crazy. It says they were the biggest top 40 band in America at the time.
Yeah, I actually don't know a whole lot about them.
We don't really think of them. We don't really think of them as a top 40 band. At least I don't.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to do that one just because I don't know a whole lot about them, and I love their sound. Very unique to the time, and I don't know. I'm really excited to do that one. So, but what album? I don't know how many years they were active. I don't think they were active very long, right? I don't think they have a whole lot of albums.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, because I was curious which album this is, and if they'll have any others show up. Is this the first time we're seeing them on the list? I feel like,
as far as I remember, yes. But I also could be completely wrong. So
this is their 4th album. Okay. And they had.
Don't hold me to that.
They had 7 albums. Okay, so yeah, not many albums. This was 4th. So they might have another show up. So this one having Fortunate Son, though.
That's a big win.
Yeah, I feel like we might have mentioned the one that had Long as I Can See the Light I know we mentioned that.
I think you're right.
And I think that's their debut album that has that song. Could be very wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like we talked about that one.
Killer song.
But moving on to 192, we got the Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill, 1986. Oh, 1 year before 87. That would have been another huge win for 87. What is on this one?
I don't know, but there's a lyric that says the girlies I like are underage. So that hasn't aged super well.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Can you get in trouble?
I guess 86 was a different time.
I wonder if they changed those lyrics in live performances now.
That's a good question. 191, Etta James, At Last, 1961. Of course, it has the song At Last. Probably her biggest song, right?
Yes. That's what I know her from. 190, The Who, Tommy, 1969. I feel like 1969's been popping up a lot too.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of 60s here. My Generation. What else we got on this one? Pinball Wizard. We're not going to take it.
Okay. I like Pinball Wizard.
So Pinball Wizard was The Who, and then Elton John did it. Is that right?
I believe so.
Gotcha. That brings us to 189. Slater Kenny, Dig Me Out, 1997.
I don't think I'm familiar.
An electro guitar on the cover there. Those are not that common.
Yeah, that's an interesting look.
Yeah, they have the lipstick pickups where they literally just look like a tube of lipstick.
188, T-Rex, Electric Warrior, 1971. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, this was one of the early hard rock bands, T-Rex, from what I understand. I never got super into them, but Mark Bolan's kind of a legend, and he's the main guy.
Yeah, I can't think of any songs that I know by them. I probably should listen to a little bit just to get some reference, because T-Rex has been mentioned in a lot of the different research I've done for multiple bands. So I should probably get into listening just to see.
Yeah. Slade's another one where it's like they have a couple songs, but they're always mentioned.
Yeah.
187, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted, 1990. America spelled with 3 Ks. All capital.
Yep. Huh. Is this the one that came out right after he left? Or I wonder if this is his second solo album. After he left, oh my gosh. NWA. Sorry. What is this one?
Yeah, so six months after quitting is when he came out with this.
6 months after quitting. Okay. Nice. This one shows up in the movie. Sorry. Yeah, the movie when he breaks off and then makes this album in response, and they're all, and it just goes it goes really well. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I'd love to watch it again with his son. Ooh, I just got a peek at the next album, and it just totally sent my mind off track. Sorry, Ice Cube, we're gonna have to move on. 186, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. A personal favorite. I know I do believe you like this one a lot as well. There's just
for sure.
This has got
this is a top to bottom good stuff. There's like 800 tracks on it too. So
yeah, this one's got Under the Bridge, which actually I'm kind of over that song a little bit. I like some of the some of the cuts. Yeah. There's a lot of the cuts on this album, like all the stuff that didn't hit the radio is what's really good on this album. It's just really good funk rock. It's just the lyrics are a lot of times very inappropriate for radio. So that's why this
makes sense.
Yeah. That one's such a good cut.
186. Interesting. I'm curious if any Red Hot Chili Peppers will be higher than 186 after this one.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be their highest on the list.
185, The Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet, 1968.
Let's see. What was on this one?
This one's got Sympathy for the Devil. That's probably my favorite song by them, which I was introduced through Guns N' Roses covering it before I knew anything really by the Stones.
That's right. Nice. 184.
So good stuff there.
Yeah, 184. Cyndi Lauper. She's So Unusual. 1983. What's going to be on this one?
Time After Time.
Okay, so this is the one that has Time After Time. And does it have Girls Just Want to Have Fun?
I don't know.
Yep, it is. Okay, so this is probably her number one album. So we probably won't see her on the list again either, since this one has her biggest songs. All right, 183. D'Angelo, Brown Sugar, 1995. I don't
know much about this.
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar. I'm trying to read because I saw Prince and Stevie Wonder's name pop up right here.
Hey, there's a song called Shit Damn Motherfucker, so that's cool.
As a kid, you would have just clicked on it just because, oh my God, a song with cuss words.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta hear it.
Gotta hear it.
182, James Taylor, Sweet Baby James, 1970. Fire and Rain. That's my favorite song by him because I don't know a ton of his stuff.
Fire and Rain.
I really just love the guitar and the melody on that song.
I'm not sure if I've heard that song.
That's the one. Just yesterday morning, wrote down this song.
Possible.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. He's got that really funny, like, light voice. Just yesterday morning.
Oh, he's good. I'll have to listen and see if it rings a bell. Yeah, the weird voice is kind of like making me think I have heard it before.
Yeah, he's one of those legendary singer-songwriter types.
I gotcha. Speaking of those types, 181, Bob Dylan, Bringing It All Back Home, 1965.
No. We can't put singer in there with Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
songwriter,
right.
sure.
Songwriter and performer. That's what we'll call him, a performer.
There we go.
Entertainer. Yep. Any word that's not singer, though.
Songwriter, legend.
Opens his mouth and sound comes out.
180, Love Forever Changes, 1967. I did not know there was a band called Love. I'm learning this for the first time right now.
Man. Imagine getting to lock that in. Like, really? That's available?
In 67 it was.
67. Yeah, that's like a little late, though. I'm sure they formed early 60s, so.
True.
That's cool. I actually like the album artwork. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It looks like somebody
it could be pretty modern.
Yeah, it looks like it was probably like just black and white, and then the band just colored it in.
If it was like a little bit more modern, it would feel like it could be like a script album or something, something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But you could tell it's a little older, but it definitely holds up.
Yeah, I definitely think it hold up. All right, 179, Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death, 1997. And this was
what do we think here?
This is the last album released right after he died, actually. So, and calling it Life After Death it's pretty crazy. This has a Hypnotize on it. That's a really, really good song. One of my favorites by him. Probably one that you've heard. Gosh, I want to say it was on one of the old midnight clubs. Maybe.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, speaking of those, 24. Yeah, he only had a couple albums. Are really, really good too. So unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a whole thing for sure. We should do an episode on that. The East versus West kind of thing. 178, Otis Redding, Otis Blue, 1965.
1965, Otis Redding. Where have we talked about Otis Redding again?
Otis Redding's written like every song. I don't know how,
that's what I was going to say. He showed up in song credits like everywhere.
He wrote Hard to Handle that the
Black Crowes covered.
Tons of other songs.
Okay, gotcha.
I think he's the original author of Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
So he passed on his notebook to Max Martin.
Yeah, right.
He took care of the old days, and then Max takes care of everything going forward, and then he'll pass it off to somebody.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's just how it goes. It's like a Sith thing going on behind the scenes.
Magic notebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always two they are.
Always two. 177. Rod Stewart. Every picture tells a story. 1971. This has Maggie May. Okay. Yeah. So this might be his highest album on here then. I think Maggie May is like his biggest hit.
Okay.
So
176. Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet, 1990. That album art doesn't really hold up.
Nope. It looks like just
that
like
looks pretty bad.
Looks like a really cheap movie that I'd find like in a vintage DVD store.
Yeah,
maybe even
right.
VHS.
Like one of those really bad sci-fi movies.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what the album artwork looks like. Oh,
because that Fear of a Black Planet text is actually kind of like looking like Star Wars to me.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, which gives it the sci-fi thing, and then the space. Yeah, that's definitely just looks like a really bad movie. 175. Damn. Kendrick Lamar's Damn. 2017. This is another top album for me. I love this album to death. It is so good, start to finish. Every song, I could just listen to this album on repeat forever.
Yeah, I don't know much on this one. Let's see.
Might know Humble. That was the big one
Yeah,
all over the
that
radio.
one. I know that one.
Then
Yeah.
Love, I think, was I think the other one that played on the radio, or was it Loyalty with Rihanna? That one was also played a lot, but I'll have to get you into this one.
Yeah, I only know Humble for sure. 174, Jimmy Cliff and Various Artists. That's hilarious. The Harder They Come, original soundtrack, 1972. So this was the album that took reggae worldwide.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I was wondering why the album artwork looked familiar. I definitely saw it during my Bob Marley research. Okay. Jimmy Cliff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool.
173, Nirvana in Utero? Is that Utero? 1993. Okay, so my birth year. I'm not...
That album art really holds up.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Looks like a Tool. Something to do with Tool. I'm trying to think what songs are on this.
So Steve Albini was the producer on this. He just died yesterday.
Really?
Or maybe the day before, at the time of recording this. By the time this comes out, a couple weeks ago.
Gotcha. I don't think I'm familiar with any of the songs from this album. Huh.
It's pretty funny. It says Kurt Cobain was really upset about the fans Nirvana had made because they were like, they drew fans from all walks of life, including, it says here, frat boys and homophobes.
Mm.
So he said, don't come to our shows and don't buy our records.
Damn.
Interesting.
Right. 172, Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water, 1970.
Just perhaps the worst album cover of all time.
Right. That's funny. Just so it's
give this one a Google and let us know what you think.
It's Paul standing in front of or Simon standing in front of Garfunkel, I guess. And he's like, because he's so much shorter, his head just like is perfectly covering Garfunkel's mouth, so all you see is just like eyes and a nose sticking up over from behind. It's kind of just so bad. It looks like they accidentally snapped this picture. Like they weren't expecting it. Like Garfunkel saw the camera just a little too late. Like Simon didn't even see the camera. He didn't even know.
His hair is like flying away.
Yeah, just flying. Yeah, and then they just threw some words over it. That's funny.
Love it. 171, Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation, 1988.
Sonic Youth.
I don't have much to say about that one.
Do I know anything of theirs? Sonic Youth sounds like I feel like I've read about the band. Like I feel like they've popped up during research, but I don't think I know any songs. Oh well, I'll move on. 170, Taylor Swift's Folklore. Okay. 2020. This was a good one. I like this one. Like Folklore says in the title, this one has way more folk sound than pop, so it's really a relaxing album. Good background. If you have a rainy day, just put this on in the background in your house. It's like right on par.
Brings us to 169, Billy Joel, The Stranger, 1977.
What do you think about this one? I don't even know your opinion on Billy Joel.
I'm not really that big of a fan. He's got some good stuff for sure. But if it's between this and Elton John, I'm taking Elton John every album, every time.
Yeah, I pitted, I guess it's weird because I ended up pitting Billy Joel against Bruce Springsteen because they were both under the same label and like a city apart. And
but they're totally different genres and stuff, where Billy Joel and Elton John are like the same thing. It's a piano guy doing old school rock and roll, you know?
I get that. Bruce also plays piano and stuff in the beginning, and that I think that's why I lean more towards guitar, because they were talking about dropping him because Billy Joel was doing so well under the label. But when I went back and listened to Billy Joel's like very first album, he sounds like Paul McCartney a little bit, like in his singing. It's weird. He definitely like morphs out of that, I feel like. But his very first album, I was like, damn, dude, he just sounds like a Beatle. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You should go back and listen. It's, I guess it's because he was just really young, and most people's voices change a little bit, you know, over the years. So, but that one was very interesting. Just, you should definitely go and give it a listen.
Yeah, and he's definitely done some stuff I like. I love that song For the Longest Time. I love this song, Angry Young Man, I think it's called. And I love Why Should I Worry is a good one. There's all sorts of good stuff he's done.
I'm trying to think of the album I really like. I do like The Stranger. That is a good one. There's another album I like of his that I think it's like his third or fourth album. We might see it come up on the list, so I won't go and look at it. I'll just move along. Ooh. To 168, Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill, 1972. I feel like this is when Michael McDonald would have been around at the time when Michael McDonald toured with them.
And this one has Reelin' in the Years, which is their biggest song by far.
Yeah, that was the main song I know them by, but I really need to dive into them because everything I have heard by them, I really like. So I should, I probably really love that band and just don't know that I do.
167, Depeche Mode, Violator, 1990.
Ooh, not familiar.
English band here.
Yeah, I was going to say it says England's first synth pop band. So I definitely don't know. I don't even know what to expect. It's one of those like new wave style bands. 166, Buddy Holly. 20 Golden Greats, so greatest hits album. Way more common with the older artists. 1978.
Makes sense. Sounds like he started as a country artist and then kind of moved into what became rock and roll.
Looks like he got a gig
165.
Opening for Elvis. That's cool.
That's nice. Good gig. REM, Murmur, 165, 1983.
This has to be a really early one of theirs, right?
This is their debut, it says, yeah.
Okay. That's what I was like. I feel like most of their albums that I've seen are through the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, REM's one of those bands I always hear about, and I know I've heard songs, but I just couldn't point them out to you.
Well, I've listened to them a lot. They've got like a Radiohead kind of like uniqueness to them. There are plenty of hits and things. I like them. I don't think you would. Just knowing your taste in music, I think you would.
What's their biggest song?
Oh God.
Because I know they have some hits that I've heard.
My favorite is Losing My Religion. I just don't know if that's actually a...
Oh, it's The End of the World. That's them, right?
Yep, it's The End of the World as we know it. Everybody Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
The One I Love. This
Automatic
one,
for the People. That's what Everybody Hurts is off of.
Do what?
That's gonna. I bet we see that again higher up in the list.
Yeah, they have some good stuff. I don't know a whole lot about the band themselves though, so maybe we should add them to the list. I just know a lot
Yeah,
of
I
their
was just
songs.
thinking that. I think I'll do that.
Sweet.
I think I'll add it to the list while you do the next one.
164, Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Okay, 1968. Is this his trying to see if it was a live album. I don't think it is, but no, it's not. Okay. I'm reading about it right now.
I think
Yeah.
that's just what it's called. I'm back now.
This was his comeback album. Okay. That reignited his career. So I guess he was in a bit of a dip, and then this album kind of sparked reignited things.
163, various artists. All right. I think we have a bone to pick here. Saturday Night Fever, 1977. This is obviously the original movie soundtrack. And I don't really care how good of a soundtrack it is. To me, it doesn't seem like it should be on this list.
I was going to say, you're going to have issues with this. Hey, I see
again, it's some corporate suits putting together some songs.
True.
Like anyone could do that. That's not making an album.
Yep. Well,
you can throw darts at a board blindfolded and put together an album like this.
Yeah. It's got the Bee Gees Staying Alive on it.
It's not like telling a story, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Disco Inferno.
It's not like, it doesn't have to necessarily tell a story, but it's not a collected, purposeful group of work.
What's funny is this album basically breaks down to disco's greatest hits. Is kind of what this album is. Literally what this album like is.
Yep, that was kind of the part of the movie, I think, too, from what I remember.
Yep. 162, Pulp, Different Class, 1995. I am not familiar at all.
Pulp is the most 1995 band name, though, for sure.
Britpop.
There was never a more 1995 band name than Pulp.
Yeah. I figured it was a British band based on the album artwork. I don't know why. Why does that feel? I don't know.
Just a wedding picture. 161, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, self-titled, 1969. I guess they're technically considered a supergroup, but it's interesting because they're much older than most other. It's like, there wasn't, to me, enough time to even establish that big of a career at that time,
Yeah.
There was. I'm just saying it doesn't feel like there should have been.
Yeah, interesting.
That's crazy. It's crazy to think that, like, when the music industry really started, it was around like Elvis, right? Like 50s-ish.
50s, yeah. It's really the start.
That's when, like, because there was music before, that's not what we're saying, but the music industry, as far as, we've made this rock star, he's in limos, everybody's loving it, like, that didn't exist with, like, big bands, like, I guess you got, Frank Sinatra, but even then, I think that was a little bit different.
Even then, yeah, a lot of his stuff is 50s.
So with the modern music industry, was only around for, like, less than 20 years.
Yeah,
so
at that
crazy.
point.
At the time of this album,
at the time of the album.
So.
Yeah. Even crazier to think about, it's less than 100 years old.
Yep.
So new.
That's what's crazy.
So moving on, 160, Pearl Jam, 10, 1991. I like this album. My dad
this album's got a ton of good stuff.
Yeah, my dad got me onto Pearl Jam. Even Flow, being on it. What is that? Alive, Footsteps, Why Go? Jeremy. That's right. Jeremy's on here. I like Jeremy a lot. Yeah, this is a good album.
Yeah. Good one. 159, The Police, Synchronicity, 1983. Every Breath You Take, King of Pain, classic Police. This is, actually probably their biggest album, would you say?
Yeah, it is. Weird enough, not my favorite, but I like Zenyatta Mendetta for some reason. I'm a weirdo.
Nice.
But this is definitely probably going to be their highest album on the list. 158, Erykah Badu, Mama's Gun, 2000.
says she raps sings and raps about her dissolution of her relationship with Andre 3000. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
well, funny's probably not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yep. Just ironic, I guess. We gotta.
Yep. 157 Oasis. What's the story? Morning Glory 95. This is a great one. Tons of good stuff on this one, including obviously Wonderwall, one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, that's the only one that I believe I can really think of right now.
Guys are from Manchester.
Manchester? Oh, sweet. 156, The Replacements, Let It Be, 1984.
Okay. 155, Jay-Z, The Black Album, 2003. A lot of artists have The Black Album.
You're right. There are a lot of Black albums over the years. We have does Back in Black
White
count
albums
as
as well.
Does Back in Black count as a Black album?
No, I think people would just call that Back in Black.
I mean, Metallica's is called Metallica, but they call it
but they call it the Black
Album.
Album. That one makes sense.
That one counts. Okay, we'll have to.
Okay, so I guess we got two.
We got two. I was gonna count Back in Black. That's why I was like, it's kind of, but not really. I see. All right, 154, Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace, 1972. Okay, so this
Marvin Gaye was a big fan.
Yep. I think most people were.
Mick Jagger. Oh, yeah, lots of people. 153, PJ Harvey, Rid of Me, 1993.
I have nothing to say
That's
on that
Polly
one.
Jean Harvey.
Mm.
Releasing her second album.
152, The Pretenders, 1980. After years knocking around Ohio and England. What? Those are two interesting places to hang out. I don't even understand.
Are we on 151 now?
Yep.
That's George Michael's Faith, 1987. Another one.
Ooh. That's a good
It's a
one.
big one.
Yep.
Faith is a good song.
What do you think about the album artwork? Good.
Just the king of the designer stubble.
Right?
I think actually kind of the inventor of it almost.
Right. 150. Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska, 1982. This was his first of the all acoustic albums, I believe. People really like the acoustic albums of his. Right. Then
Yeah, that one's huge. 149, John Prine, self-titled, 1971. And he had resigned from his job as a USPS mailman. Of course, his boss made fun of him and said, "You'll be back," and he was not.
I'm gone forever. 148, Frank Ocean, Channel Orange, 2012. I know a little Frank Ocean, but not a bunch.
Yeah, same. 147, Jeff Buckley, Grace, 1994. Yep, here's another cover of Hallelujah on this one.
Is there? No way. Of course. What is the Led Zeppelin song
I think it's just saying it sounded kind of like
it just sounded like Zeppelin? Oh.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
There you go.
146, Blondie, Parallel Lines, 1978. That's a good album artwork or album cover.
Yeah, that's really cool. Blondie being right square in the middle of the new wave thing. That artwork really holds up, I think, today. Although it kind of looks like an old 50s diner, but
yeah, it gets the point across, though.
Yeah, for sure. 145, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, 2000. That's cool art. I love artwork like that, where it has kind of the grungy border. a good image with the text, in the image. I love that. I think
What
that's
is
great.
it? So it's not like, that's not like black and white. That's like saturated almost. Like what would you call it? It is like black and white, but it's got like a
This one's
brownish hue to it.
sepia.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what effect that is.
It's kind of sepia, but they're just color correcting it down. It's not black and white,
Just
but
like
it's
removing the
definitely not
color from the
saturated very
image.
heavily. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
that is a really good one. I wonder if that's actually his house where he grew up. I can't remember.
Interesting.
I know he lived in a trailer park, but I know there was a house at some point. So
I just am a big fan that there's a Bitch Please 2.
Bitch Please 2.
Like couldn't name it something else. Just had to be Bitch Please 2.
Well, maybe he didn't get the point across with Bitch Please 1.
And Chris Rock joked that the world was so crazy that the best rapper is a white guy. Funny.
144 Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti, 1975. Nice.
Yep, nice. This is after they stopped numbering them.
Yeah, it says the last great Led Zeppelin album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like most 1970s double LPs, is a bloated beast. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's got Kashmir.
Yeah, Kashmir's like
In My Time of Dying.
Yeah, Kashmir's the number one I liked from this album for sure.
Yeah, same. 143. What am I saying? The Velvet Underground, self-titled, 1969.
Okay.
I know about the Velvet Underground a little bit, but I'm not that familiar with their discography. I do, however, like their logo.
Do you what? Just like the
I like the low kerning where the letters are really close together.
Okay, gotcha. 142 Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, 1984. All right, so this one's probably going to be his highest up, right? I feel like
We already did Born to Run, didn't we?
I believe so.
Then yeah.
So this one Yeah, this one is this one grew on me. Actually, just like basically every song other than Born in the USA. Just because that one's just the overplayed one, but
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm on Fire's my favorite song from the album. I love Dancing in the Dark. Going Down, really, really good song. This one's just got so many heaters.
141 Pixies, Doolittle, 1989.
I haven't
know about the Pixies.
I haven't listened to them a whole bunch. You know, I know like just a couple of songs that mostly everyone else knows.
Yeah, same.
But that one's just, I don't know. I'll have to dive in, but I don't think even if I dive in, that one's really going to grow on me anymore. 140 Bob Marley and the Wailers, Catch a Fire, 1973. Nice. This was that first really big hit album that they had. I don't remember what songs
it says this was the album that kind of introduced the world to Bob Marley, not just
this was
locals.
This is the first one they recorded in England, I believe, when they were stuck in Britain.
Yep. 139 Black Sabbath, Paranoid, 1970.
Ooh.
I believe this was Black Sabbath's first album.
I've never seen this album artwork before, actually.
I've seen it a ton, but I've never seen it up close like this. It's always a tiny little thumbnail on my phone,
Yeah. The image was a little interesting. I love the color scheme. Like all the colors they chose that really like contrast beautifully on that album artwork.
Yeah, that is really nice.
138 Madonna, The Immaculate Collection, 1990. Oh man, is this a greatest hits album? It is.
Is it really?
I believe so. Or a remix album? Let me see.
It says like the 19. I guess it's got to be.
Nothing but good songs.
Yeah,
Maybe?
no shit. He took the best off of every album. Like, no, of course. Like, guess what? When you draft the best player from every NFL team, you get a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There is a new song on here. It says that she did with Lenny Kravitz, or him
Let's see.
co-producing. But
Do a quick goog on that while I do 137, which is Adele's 21. And that's from 2011. Wow, that feels like it was older than that.
that was her first greatest hits album. Ooh,
Okay,
Adele.
that makes sense.
Ooh, what is
So this one, it says she actually cut an entire album with Rick Rubin, but ended up preferring earlier demos of the songs, like Rolling in the Deep and Someone Like You and Set Fire to the Rain, and mostly used the earlier demos, which is kind of crazy because those are the three biggest ones like that I know of.
Yeah, all three of those songs are so good. Gosh, they put her on the map for sure. But
Yeah,
and I haven't gone and listened to Adele in a while. I love listening to her. She really draws out a great emotional response with her singing, I feel like.
It's pretty cool she used the demos. I'll have to go back and listen to those.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That after producing and everything, like I just like my way better. Sometimes you got that gut feeling, that instinct. But moving along, 136, Funkadelic, Maggot Brain, 1971. I'm not familiar, but I love me some funk. And of course, funk can't go anywhere without mentioning funk. And they just decided to skip all the bullshit and include it in the title of the band. So, respect.
Nice. Love it. 135, U2, The Joshua Tree, another win for 1987.
Oh, man, 87, killing it.
Yeah. This album is I think probably U2's masterpiece. It's just top to bottom really good.
Yeah, I'm looking at so I haven't found what I'm looking for. Such a good song. So good.
Yeah, I used to fall asleep to this album all the time.
Yeah, definitely a good one for that. 134, Fugees, The Score, 1996.
What if it was just called Fuggies?
Fuggies.
Just the album art's a clear, play on The Godfather.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, is it The Godfather or is it the Scarface? I mix them all up.
I believe that's
it's play on something like that.
I think that's Godfather.
Yeah, I think so too.
That is Godfather
First,
for sure.
Okay, cool. 133, Joni Mitchell. I'm going to say Hajira, 1976. She has an interesting look.
All cheekbones.
As diplomatically as I can.
All cheekbones, no nose.
She looks like a skull.
Interesting. Yeah. Somebody sit her down for a meal.
And it's pretty awesome that Jaco Pastorius is on this, one of the best bass players of all time. That's awesome. Moving along.
132, Hank Williams, 40 Greatest Hits. Jeez.
It's a lot of greatest hits.
1978.
1978.
Damn, that is a big Greatest Hits album.
Yeah, it should just say all of his songs.
You're right.
Hank Williams, every song in one place.
Well, that's my favorite album. Of course.
Yeah, of course it is. It's just a discography at that point. 131, Portishead, Dummy, 1994. I don't know this at all. I didn't know this band existed until this moment.
Yep, I am no comment. I don't know anything either. It
crazy.
Looks like they scored a James Bond film.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Seems like a female singer. Poppy, kind of interesting sound. Hop, hip hop, pop hop, trip hop, banana hop, you name it.
Speaking of pop in the 90s and I guess the 80s in this case, 130, Prince, 1999, which came out in 1982. Don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled. It was singing about the future.
Yep. This has a Little Red Corvette. Let's Pretend We're Married. Delirious. It's a good one. Oh, really good one.
And it has 1999 as well.
Yeah, I was going to say
129. Pink Floyd, The Wall, 1979.
This one's good. It's just not my favorite. fact, it's like
Yeah, same.
3 or 4 on the list, maybe. Probably 4, actually. I think my number 1 is The Division Bell, and then Dark Side of the Moon, and then Wish You Were Here, and then maybe The Wall.
Did you know most people don't like The Division Bell? That surprised me when I found that out.
Yeah, it's super unpopular opinion. But it's an opinion that I share with you, I think. So
yeah, oh yeah.
We have an interesting. I just like David Gilmour way more than Roger Waters. I'm sorry.
I just like the sound they had on that.
Dude, I know
the sound was just like kind of ambient, but with like awesome guitar solos and
that album is
love it.
Yeah, me too. Like you said, just ambient with killer guitar. That's a great album to fall asleep to as well. If you just want some,
I did that a bunch as well. Also, the one after that, which came out many decades later, I believe. I can forget what it's called, but it's got amazing album artwork, and it is basically the Division Bell Part 2. They just took songs that they didn't put on the Division Bell.
Oh, that's right. The one that came out like well after
Endless River. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep, that's the one that came out like after the band was like. Yeah, basically it just came out of nowhere, and it was like, wait, what? They're not even together right now. And then a Pink Floyd album came out, and there was just a bunch of unreleased recordings. Yeah, that one is good too. That's right.
Really good. 128, A Night at the Opera by Queen, 1975.
Hey, 75. There's a one for me, I guess, for my year of 75. That's a decent one.
This one doesn't look like it has,
but it does not have like any
much on it that I'm familiar with, other than Bohemian Rhapsody, which is probably what's carrying this album.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, You're My Best Friend. That one's okay. Still, that would be. I'd have to. It's some points, but still, you've made some much bigger strides with your 86.
87, yeah.
Or 87, sorry. Number 127, Ray Charles, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, 1962. And
okay. Hey, good looking.
Yeah. You don't know me half as much.
Yeah, some good stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
126, Mary J. Blige, My Life, 1994. It's a very 1994 album art.
Yeah, it is. Still holds up though, I feel like. Well,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know much about her.
Me neither, but I do know that she's like idolized in hip hop.
For some reason, I always mix her and Macy Gray up. Is
really?
It Macy Gray?
Yeah, I know who Macy Gray is.
Don't know why. Just have them mixed up. I do that with a lot of different artists.
125.
Just 125.
We got the Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique, 1989. All right, what's on this one? What do you think about the Beastie Boys? Just don't know a whole lot, or don't really?
Yeah, I mean, I only know the hits, and it didn't really make me want to be like, I gotta listen to everything this band. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm with you.
I know a lot of people love it. It's not my thing, really.
They bring like an energy, but musically they're not really offering a lot.
Yeah, it's true. I listened to a mixed breakdown of what's their biggest song?
No Sleep Till Brooklyn, maybe?
Yeah, a musical breakdown of that song. And it was really cool to listen to the guy that was really, really passionate about the Beastie Boys break that down and be like, listen to this. This is this guy, and he was doing this, and they came up with it this way, like blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And they were going to do this, but then they just decided to loop it and just all these different things. I was like, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that makes me like bands and music.
Yeah, when you find out the why and the reason and the...
Yeah. And you hear the stuff that you didn't immediately pick up on.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why, I mean, that's a big part of the podcast in general and our deep dives is like sometimes getting a different angle and finding out some different information can lead to a different opinion on different artists. So like,
yeah, I always tend to leave our episodes liking the musicians more. I don't always leave liking the music more, but I definitely like the people that make it a lot more.
Yeah,
more about them.
If you can find that video, you should definitely post it in the Discord. would like to take a look at it.
Yeah, I was on a podcast I was listening to. I'll have to find it.
Oh,
That brings us to 124 U2. I'm going to take a stab at this because I've only ever seen it written. Octung, baby. I don't know. I have no idea where to start with that.
yeah. 1991. What's on this one? So this is let's see. I'm not seeing any songs pop up with this list. Do you have a song list? Because I'm Octung is what it sounded like.
Octung. Yeah.
Octung. Huh.
Looks German. Don't know if it is.
Looks German. Most likely is. What is this? I don't know this any I don't know if I know any songs off this one. What about you?
Oh, Brian Eno's credited on it as being recorded. They recorded it in Berlin, so that makes sense. Yeah, they said it's their heaviest record. It's got 1 on it. Yeah, some good stuff. I need to go through their discography.
Yeah, true. All right, moving along.
That'll be a fun one day.
Ooh, 123, we have Led Zeppelin 2, 1969. What does this one have? The Lemon Song, Ramble On, probably one of your favorites. Whole Lot of Love.
Yeah, I love Ramble On.
Heartbreaker,
Lemon Song. Yeah, tons of good stuff.
Yeah, this one's a great one.
Tons of stuff in that one. 122, 9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral, 1994.
I haven't listened to Nine Inch Nails a whole bunch.
Trent Reznor rented a place to record, and he did not realize it was the one-time home of Sharon Tate, who was murdered by the the Charles Manson family.
Oh, that's crazy. 121, Elvis Costello, this year's Model, 1978. This is his second album. Okay. With the second album with this band. I don't know a whole lot of his. What about you?
I always hear the name. I just never know the music.
Pump It Up. Is that the same Pump It Up I'm thinking of? Like the
I don't know. Not for me. I'm the wrong person to ask on this guy.
I'll do a little personal research. I'll get back to you and let you know if we have or haven't heard of him.
There you go. 120, Van Morrison, Moondance, 1970.
Okay.
That has Into the Mystic, Caravan, and It Stoned Me, a few of his songs. I don't go crazy deep with Morrison, but I know some of his songs for sure. I mean, everybody knows Brown Eyed Girl, but
yeah,
beyond that. So anyway,
I'll have to look into it. Moving along. 119, Sly and the Family Stone, Stand! Exclamation point. 1969. Funk Rock Soul. What? I don't know if I've heard a whole lot of them, but
yeah, I don't know any of these.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read out some of these.
118, The Eagles, Hotel California, 1976. Okay, so I had always heard it as just Eagles, not The Eagles, but
yeah, I thought it was Eagles.
That's an interesting technicality there. So they spent 8 months in the studio polishing take after take, trying to get it absolutely perfect. They locked themselves in. They would go in and stay for 2 or 3 days at a time. This is the first album with Joe Walsh, so they backed off a bit from like their country-ish flavor and went a little heavier with like Life in the Fast Lane, things like that. And then obviously it has the song Hotel California, which Don Henley describes as their peak.
What's your favorite? You like Don Henley? He's like your favorite member, right? You're a big Don Henley fan.
I mean, I really like his voice, but I've heard a lot of stories about him that make me not think he's maybe not the best person. But
oh, gotcha. Well, I just meant musically. Yeah, he's your
I really
favorite
like
singer.
All of them. I love Joe Walsh. I love Glenn Frey.
I was gonna say, I know when I was younger, I liked Joe Walsh a lot. With his,
yeah, he's awesome, but he's far
stuff.
from an original member though. So he's
I know
he came
that's
in
why
pretty late.
He's a later member,
but he's been there forever now. He's obviously an Eagle. Like you can't argue that.
Yeah, for sure. So are we going to see any other Eagles? Is the Eagles' greatest hits going to be? It's going to be way higher on the list, right?
It's got to be. It's one of the
Unfortunately.
top selling albums of all time. It's like Thriller, Back in Black, the Eagles' greatest hits.
Yeah, we'll see it. We'll
It's
see
that white album with like the westerny looking design.
That's
on it.
right. I know exactly what you're. Yeah, that one's
Yep.
so infamous.
Oh, I had it.
Famous.
Everybody had it. Everybody had it. Sales.
Yeah, my grandma loves the Eagles. So, moving along though, 117 Kanye West Late Registration 2005. I just don't know a whole lot. Oh, this had Gold Digger on it. Okay. That's the only song I think I know from it.
Yeah, same. 116 The Cure Disintegration 1989. Don't know a lot about The Cure, but again, a band I always hear the name of.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about them either. 115 Kendrick Lamar Good Kid Mad City 2012. Oh, I like this album a lot as well. Of course, I'm just a big...
really could give a shit about album art though.
Oh yeah, that one's so good.
Every one of those is just like the most half-assed, like I did it myself. Like
the best. I like this one though. I'm just a big Kendrick Lamar fan though.
114 The Strokes Is This It 2001.
The Strokes. I love that album artwork. God, those
really
colors pop so well.
Yeah, those are opposite colors is why.
Yeah. I love anything with that kind of
orange.
That kind of, yeah, I was gonna say I love orange and blue and orange and green. Like those are really good color pairings in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool.
113 The Smiths The Queen Is Dead 1986. I don't think I know anything.
Really yeah, me
the
either.
Smiths.
112 Elton John Goodbye Yellow Brick Road 1973. This album's a masterpiece top to bottom.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so many good things.
Ooh. I didn't know this one had Benny and the Jets on it. Nice. Candle in the Wind.
Oh yeah, it's Candle in the Wind.
Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Oh yeah, this is just a killer. Is this going to be his highest album, or is there going to be another?
This is probably his highest.
Unless the greatest hits album shows up just to inspire you.
Yeah, I know, right? This I can't think of another one that would be higher. I mean, this is definitely his most famous album, I think, but
yeah,
he had the perfect name for his farewell tour. He called it Farewell Yellow Brick Road. Yep. Like that's a great name.
Yeah, that's the number 2 highest selling tour, I think, behind Era's tour now. Is Elton John's, which just came to a close very recently.
Do they control for inflation when they do those?
I do believe so.
Because it's like if you charge $1,000 a ticket, like no shit.
Because the Rolling Stones are still like 4 out of the top 10 slots.
Okay. Those tickets are probably $9 then for like front row.
Yeah. So if the Rolling Stones are on there that many times, then it's got to have some inflation. And Era's just beat Elton's, not by a whole lot. Like, of course, Era's tour just got over 1 billion, but Elton John's was like 700 or 800 million. Like, nice. What a farewell. Goodbye. Put all this money in my pockets.
Yeah.
But moving along, 111, Janet Jackson, Control, 1986. Okay, getting some albums up here with
that
Michael
album holds
well.
up for 1986, I think.
I agree with you. It looks really good.
I know Janet Jackson. I don't know her songs.
Same.
Except maybe one, so I don't know. 110, Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark, 1974. Another singer-songwriter. We talked about her earlier. She's been on here several times already.
Yeah, she has. 109, Lou Reed, Transformer, 1972. This is his debut, I believe. I love this album. So good. It's got Walk on the Wild Side on it, which is probably the biggest hit. Perfect Days on it. It's a good one. He's another not really the best singer, but definitely like a more of a songwriter performer type.
108, Fiona Apple, Win the Pawn, 1999.
This is her second album, it looks
This
like.
is her sophomore album, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Nice.
I'm not that familiar with her music, but again, it's a name I see all the time.
Yeah. 107, Television, Marquee Moon, 1977. God, they look ill.
Oh, there's one word. There's one word to describe what these guys look like. Do you know what it is?
Undead.
Gaunt.
Gaunt.
That is.
Yep.
This is if I said draw a picture of Gaunt, you would probably draw Television's draw out this album cover, and not even know it. You'd be like, this is pretty Gaunt.
Oh jeez. Oh gosh.
Moving along, so we don't have to keep looking at that.
Yeah.
106, Hole. Live Through This. That was 1994 through Geffen Records. Nice.
That album artwork doesn't hold up, in my opinion, but
You don't think so?
I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
Like a pageant queen winning, or
I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
So
Oh.
this is Hole. I guess that was Courtney Love's band. Is the context clues I'm picking up here.
Oh.
And 1 week before this breakthrough album was released, Kurt Cobain killed himself.
Gotcha.
So all the immediate attention that came around that, I guess, ended up making this kind of a big success. So
and it's
maybe
called
that's
Live
more-
Through This.
maybe that's more fuel in the fire of the conspiracy theory that she actually killed him.
For sure. 105, The Allman Brothers at Fillmore East, 1971. Is this a live album?
I believe so.
Yep, it is. New York's Fillmore. Okay.
Yeah, so we played Fillmore West, but never played Fillmore East. We also have a Fillmore here in Charlotte.
Yes, we do. Oh, gosh. Why is this their album artwork? Yeah, go ahead and
Are we on
move
104?
on. Yeah, I scrolled down to 104 and was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty famous album artwork. The Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers, 1971.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this album artwork before.
It's got Brown Sugar, Wild Horses, Dead Flowers, Can't You Hear Me Knock? Like, it's got a bunch of hits on this one.
Okay. 103, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising, 1989. Nice. Still don't really know any solo. I don't know anything De La Soul does outside of Gorillaz, but I'm sure it's good.
We are on to the final two here today. 102, The Clash, self-titled, 1977.
Nice. What's on
Anything
this
off
one?
this one
I'm trying to
jumping
look.
out at you? Nothing jumping out at me.
Yeah, I like The Clash, but really most of the songs I like are not on this album. And wrapping up today with 101 is Led Zeppelin's self-titled Led Zeppelin, 1969.
Yeah, I believe this is often called Led Zeppelin 1.
Yep. Which I was just about to say, yeah, I think this is what everyone refers to as 1. This one's really, really good.
Breakdown, Your Time's Gonna Come, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Yeah.
One of my favorites to just play from the beginning to end. Just let go. A lot of blues on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think
That's a good
about
point.
today's list so far?
I don't have any strong opinions outside of everything we talked about as we went along. I think next episode's going to be the banger.
I think so too. So a lot of the albums that we've discussed still we haven't seen, so we know they're going to be in this top 100, I think. And
Or they're not going to be in it at all.
or not going to be in it at all and send us for a loop. And it's exciting. We started to see there were quite a few I think we saw on this list where we made the assumption that would be the last time we saw that artist. So I think we're going to start narrowing down quite a bit. I'm excited. See what the top 100 is.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I realized as I said that I did not sound super stoked, but I am.
Monotone, I'm so excited for the top 100.
I'm so excited to be talking about the top 500 podcast in Rolling Stone. I can't even say it right, dude.
No,
but yeah, no, this was killer. I'm glad we broke this into 5 parts. Could you imagine a 5.5 hour?
Yeah, dude, we're just grueling at the end. We'd probably be speed running it after a while. Just
I know, and we
read it,
couldn't,
no comment.
we couldn't
read
put
it.
the most, we couldn't put the most focus into it that way, I think. So I'm glad we did it this way. We've already gone through the 500 greatest songs. This will be part 4 of 500 greatest albums of 5 parts. We'll hit you with the next one in a couple weeks, and we keep the regular full deep dive episodes coming as well. So I think that'll be it for today. So please, again, don't forget to subscribe and like on YouTube. Give us those 5-star reviews wherever you're listening to this. Hit us up on the socials, and consider joining our Patreon, because we're gonna keep the conversation going over there. And that's all for me today.
Thank you so much for tuning in.